Okay, welcome to the podcast, everybody. Episode 974 of the show. It is Tuesday, January 20th, as I hop on here. And if you are watching the video edit of the show, I am wearing all black. And that is for two reasons, maybe. The first reason could be because this Knicks, not just the Knicks season, but the Knicks era and the hopes that they could actually accomplish something together with this unit. That's officially dead. But also because it seems like maybe I'm reading too much into this Ken Rosenthal report, but it seems like the Yankees are totally prepared to let their Bellinger hopes die. It seems like they're ready for him to leave. They've made him a final offer, and it's not a very high offer relative to what Bellinger is expected to get or command at least. And, with a couple of other bigger market teams still in the mix, it seems like the Yankees, because they are this mid-market who don't have a lot of money, they're only worth $8 billion. They only bring in the most revenue. Because they don't have that money, it seems like they are prepared to let Bellinger walk. So, you know, you've been hearing these reports, seeing these reports. Nothing's concrete yet until he makes his decision, which is expected this week now. But I think the final figure the Yankees offered was 165. You know, obviously Bellinger wants higher salary, higher total money, and he wants the 7 years. I don't know if he's gonna budge, or Boris, I should say, because that's who's controlling him. But regardless, you know, it seems like he's all but gone. Austin Wells going on social media and pretty much making things obvious here. Excuse me. But now the attention pans to what's next, and whether or not the Yankees go out and they get some random bum platoon bat for left-handed pitching, I couldn't care less. Was that the Seth Brown deal they made yesterday? I don't know. Um, I don't know if Spencer Jones is going to be ready. You know, you probably won't see him in the bigs anytime soon. Um, so whoever this bum platoon bat is, Jasson Dominguez is most likely going to be part of the team now, unless he's in a deal for pitching before the season starts. And if Jasson Dominguez is here, he can no longer fly under the radar. He's going to be the guy in left field. He's going to have higher expectations, and the Yankees are going to have to lean on him, as that guy who can hit right-handed pitching. So the expectation is going to be a lot higher, and there are a lot of Yankees fans who are prepared to let Jasson Dominguez, there are a lot of Yankees fans who are very down on Jasson Dominguez, and they're just done with him for whatever reason. I don't think Jasson Dominguez is going to turn into what was that initial report? Friggin' the ridiculous comparisons that he was getting. Mickey Mantle and Bo Jackson, and like Mike Trout's name even came up. I don't think he's going to be that. I don't think he's going to be half of those players. I do understand some of the frustrations. Like I've said before, Jasson Dominguez gives me a lot of Glaber vibes. That's not ideal. Like, just he lacks that intensity. He's not always serious. Doesn't seem that way. The body language, and he'll make those low IQ mistakes that obviously we were used to seeing from Glaber. And if Bellinger is truly gone, which again it seems like it, Dominguez needs to be better this year. Again, I didn't think he was bad last season. I thought he was fine overall as a baseball player. He had a 0.5 WAR in 123 games. That was carried by a 719 OPS, obviously, and some good base running. But the expectation this year needs to be and will be higher. I think my biggest question with Jasson Dominguez is lefty righty, right? Because we've all seen the splits. They're very telling splits. And it's not just Like, I think what a lot of people get confused, it's not just last year's splits. It's not just his major league splits. No, he's struggled as a right-handed bat since he first became a pro. That's been a trend. You go back to his minor league career as a right-handed bat. If you average out each of the 4 seasons, his OPS from each season, divided by 4, it's a 644 OPS as a right-handed bat. That's egregious. You go into his major league career, lifetime as a righty, 512 OPS. 792 OPS lifetime as a lefty. Last season, 569 OPS versus a 768 OPS. Stark differences, highs and lows. I mean, it's insane how much better he is as a lefty bat. So for a guy, you dig deeper into it, for a guy who is in pro ball because of his power, the Yankees need to see Dominguez lift the ball in the air more. And that ties into those lefty-righty splits because his launch angle last year was improved. It was slightly above average, but it was hampered by his right-handed swing, meaning it could be a lot better. Because from the right side, he made softer contact, he had less launch, and that led to a ton of ground balls. As a righty bat last year, I'm not going to bore you with the numbers. He was about average in hard hit rate. You need more. He was above average in ground ball rate, which is not a good thing. So the takeaway there is, as a righty bat, lots of soft ground balls, and they were mostly pulled, from what I can remember. His left-handed swing is where the upside comes from. That's where he's got the power. As a lefty bat last year, he was, again, I'm not going to dive into the specific numbers, but as a lefty last year, well above average in hard hit rate and about average in ground ball rate, which, again, that's better than where he was as a righty. So more hard hit balls in the air as a lefty bat, and that's what you want from both sides so you can get that consistency from him. Because his discipline is also a lot better on the left side than the right side, too. If you go into his major league career numbers, he walks a bit more from the left side, about a 1% difference in walk rate, but he strikes out a lot less from the left side of the plate. It's about 6% difference in K rate, and I would bet if you had the numbers, you'd probably see better chase rate and whiff rates as a lefty, too. But I don't think we have those numbers. The batting averages, the on-base percentages, a lot better from the left side, too. 84 points better in average, over 70 points better in OBP. Just as a hitter, you want to see him tap into that power more, and he could do that with more consistency from that right side of the plate. Because, look, the tools are there. Outside of the power, he's very athletic. The athleticism, it's very evident. He's an excellent base runner. The hustle was on full display last year. He was 80th percentile in base running run value. Just good hustle, good IQ on the bases. 84th percentile in sprint speed. He was often, how many times did we see him just take the extra base off of a single, off of a double? He would fly around the bases and he would be at least one more base further than you would be used to from anybody else. You saw that a ton last year. That's huge to have that on the bases. You could steal runs that way. And he also stole 23 bases. So the athleticism's there. And I know the defense is not good. Left field is his weakness. He takes poor routes to the baseball. He drops balls that are hit to him. I don't love him in left field because he's got nobody to cover the gap when he's going to his right. And you look into the metrics last year, he was -9 in fielding run value. That was 6th percentile. He had -9 outs above average, so 9 outs below average. That was 3rd percentile. Awful. And you want to hear something funny? Here's why errors are a stupid stat. He made 2 errors last year. So there you go. the positives again, if you want to believe that he can get to an average level defensively, is that he's got the speed. He's got the arm strength. He was 92nd percentile in arm strength last year. He's got a gun, and he's got the youth to where he can learn and he can develop into an average left fielder. He's not a robot. These guys aren't robots. A lot of old school fans treat players like robots because they just they think they are what they produce. There's talent, there's youth involved. You can develop and get better. Do I think he can? I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of hard to say with the sure, confidence that he will improve there, but the possibilities there. But yeah, like Jasson Dominguez is going to have a bigger role this year, and I want to talk more about that when we get back from our break here on episode 974. Stay with us here on the pod. Be right back.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. Love BD4 but don't have the time to sit down and watch? Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review. It helps us grow and keeps the conversation going.
Okay, so welcome back to the show. Episode 974 of the podcast. I appreciate you all tuning into BD4. So I just think, listen, he wasn't bad last year. Like, offensively, there was good. He finishes the season with a 103 WRC plus and 10 home runs. If you go into his Fangraph page, they've got the Steamer projections up for this season. He's projected to have a 109 WRC plus and hit 13 home runs. I do like, if Bellinger's gone, and he was probably the closest thing to a Robin, more than anybody else last year, to Aaron Judge's Batman, you're going to need somebody else to I don't want to say replace that, because it's hard to replace what Bellinger gave you, offensively alone. Forget the defensive stuff. But, like, you're going to need more than that. That projection doesn't do it for me. It's not that Dominguez would be disappointing if he did that, but, like, he's in a spot where he needs to fill those shoes as best as he can now. I would love if he could be closer to a 120 WRC plus this season. Can you hit 20 home runs, And again, how does he get there? I just think it's easier for me and for us as fans to say this, but, like, you do get intrigued with the idea of him just sticking with left-handed hitting and completely ditching hitting from the right side. You do wonder what he would look like if he took the Cedric Mullins route and just ditched the idea of switch hitting. Maybe he can hit left on left, right? Maybe that left on left slider isn't as big as an issue as we might think. Maybe those, it's just, you wonder. Just because with a career's worth of struggles from the right side, again, dating back to when he first came into the pros, not last year, not as a major leaguer, his entire baseball career as a pro, he's not really hit well from the right side. You just wonder. And then you can just hope that he's worked on his right-handed swing all winter, and that he improved it during winter ball, and that he's going to take right on right reps or right on left reps this spring. No matter what side of the plate, you hope he does take more right-handed reps this spring and maybe make some mechanical tweaks, from the right side to tap into his power more, or again, the last part is you hope that you can platoon him with somebody to protect him from those right-handed reps and optimize his left-handed power to get him strictly facing lefties, strictly facing righties. because again, the under the hood power numbers are there. Last season, he was 63rd percentile in exit velocity, 85th percentile in hard hit rate, 80th percentile in bat speed, and he's got a very keen eye when he's locked in. He was 67th percentile in walk rate. So all I'm trying to say is I don't think he's the next superstar. I am much more down on him than I was entering last season. But I'm not done with him, which I think some Yankees fans are. We're talking about a guy who, again, no, he's not the next Mantle Jackson, but he is a 22-year-old kid, 23 in February, a former number one prospect in the Yankee system, a former top 100 prospect in the pipeline for years. Is it crazy to say that you can expect a good player here? No. That's all I'm trying to say, is there is a world where Jasson Dominguez is a lot better than where he was last season. So you let me know what you think. I think that I don't want to dive into some of these names that are, it's crazy, man. Like, again, plan C, right? Plan A doesn't work. Kind of amazing that the New York Yankees are getting outbidded for a superstar, but plan A didn't work last year. Soto went to Queens. You can't even get his plan B back. Like the plan B don't work. You got to go to a plan C. You're that pathetic with your money. I'm sorry. I know we all like to pretend to be reasonable, but there does come a point where it's like this organization has wealth on top of wealth. They blow their nose. They wipe their ass with Benjamins. It's just a little wild to me to think that we really all have been brainwashed into thinking that this Yankees team or this Yankees organization ownership can't really afford that money. There should never, I wrote this on Twitter earlier, there should never be any type of scenario where the Yankees have to pivot away from somebody because they cost too much money. That should never be the case. Even if you want to frame it as like you're worried about Bellinger's performance versus payroll, like is he going to be worth that money? Again, a franchise with that much wealth should not be operating on value calculations at all, ever. You should not have to worry about that. I know it sounds wild on the surface to say. It sounds like a typical fan thing. Bad contracts for the Yankees aren't really bad contracts. They seem like bad contracts because they put themselves on a budget. But if we're just talking raw here, they don't really need to be on this budget because of the money they make. I wish I had that much scuttle, but this is where we are. So, little rant there to end the show, but, the Yankees probably don't have Bellinger. It'd be hilarious if they signed him while I was recording this and I put this up and, but doesn't seem like he's going to be back. So, probably going to be Dominguez this year. You need better. What do you guys think? Let me know. See you soon. Hey guys, thank you for listening to BD4. Be sure to follow us on social media, subscribe to us on YouTube, and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time.